Order for Ghana for me sanso mamunina kwa ba edeba Ghanatube order for isi amene okasa no Maubeka eye former NPA boss eye Mustafa Hamid and 9 others omo court in sem na ekwe deja wo Ghana has over 280 million Ghana cedis extortion any money on the order for isi anu court Eddie Chese judgment case here Eddie about for you say ameno okasa ya charge omu aye 2 million Ghana cedis Mustafa Hamid and 9 others no you see an omu bail of 2 million Ghana cedis each ebimu entumi endiso bail no ebimu entumi entua na ade but Mustafa Hamid need otumi tua adofo ensem bebre na keka ho na afei nso no time of some back court na ade nyina odofo sa information we nyina mensaka e Ghana to odofo di mechi na yankoje sansem we nyina nchim e Ghana to remember yisia.
Former National Petroleum Authority boss Mustafa Hamid is out on bail while his other persons as co-accused stay in custody after they all pleaded not guilty to charges of extortion and money laundering. Now, we'll tell you exactly what happened in court today and how things played out, because it was a very, very important update to how things have played out, especially after last week, that information from the Office of Special Prosecutor. So, as we do know, the former National Petroleum Authority CEO, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, has met the bail conditions imposed on him by the High Court. Now, this was after he and 9 others pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of corruption and corruption-related offenses. Now, the 9 others remain in custody. That's the last time we checked, for failure to meet their bail conditions. But really, we'll just give you a sneak preview of what happened in court today. That's what you're seeing on the screen right now. And it tells you clearly the representation that these persons went into court with earlier today, and then also the fact that the 2 million cedis, we understand, bail condition that was slapped on Mustafa Hamid, we understand he has been able to meet that bail condition. We'll find out exactly what was the condition that was slapped on the others, whom we understand have not been able to meet the bail conditions, and what next for this particular case. Is a case of specific interest for the Office of Special Prosecutor and then also anti-corruption crusaders who've been watching how things are playing out. Dennis Paberi Wadam Esquire is with me in the studio and monitored the happenings in court earlier today. It's good to have you, Dennis, as always.
Thank you, Alfred.
Good stuff. Now, we do know, it's on record, that Mustafa Hamid, former CEO of NPA, has met the bail conditions.
Yes, that's what the OSP tells us.
But
before we left the courtroom, he and the other accused persons were still there trying to execute the bail bond. So in respect of Mustafa Hamid himself and the second and third accused persons, 3 people. So in that case, I'll just show you. So Mustafa Hamid is here. He's the first accused person.
Right.
The second accused person, Jacob Kwamna Amwa, and then Wendy Newman. So the first, second, and third accused persons, they were given a bail sum of 2 million Ghana cedis each, with 2 sureties, one of which was to be justified with landed property. And Alfred, when you are given a bail condition, one that requires justification and has to do with landed property, usually it's quite a process for you to be able to get it done within a day. So it's quite understandable that some of these people are still in custody. In respect of the other accused persons, for them, there's the same bail sum of 2 million Ghana cedis, except that they have 3 sureties, one of whom is to be justified.
No, but look at these charges: conspiracy to commit extortion, extortion by public officer, using public office for profit. That's some tough nut that the
Order for utin semina course na yesi Mustafa Hamid die ono 2 million Ghana cedis bail conditions near the mom. I say charge kese 2 million near the bomb no ono nko ade wetumi emiti sa bail condition no charge near the slap pay no order for wetumi emiti sa charge no condition 2 million no any other sureties can order for Mosi in Kofuna Canada, a bimu and to me a miti, sa 2 million Ghana cedis bill conditions. Form when they sema I did Chesa Mustafa Hamid, former NPA boss, no, any 9 others. Now you say I charge you, see I'm no Casano, yet the 2 million Ghana cedis. I charge Cassia Pan, they are born more, I see Muntia. Any other sureties such as saying, some night the organa should be a can once and I'm beginning in a bro. I organa to for my call 9 chance, some nights here.
Special prosecutor will have to crack. It certainly means that he has something up his sleeves we are not aware of, is it not?
Well, so the special prosecutor, who was present in court himself to have the plea of the accused persons taken, did indicate that for them, evidence will show beyond reasonable doubt that the accused persons have actually committed the offenses for which they've been put before the court. Even though that also was sharply rebutted by counsel for the accused persons, because in their view, what the special prosecutor had indicated that the evidence will show beyond reasonable doubt was not included in the facts that were before the court.
I see.
But the OSP, the special prosecutor had to come back again to explain that he used that in the sense that, in the course of the trial, they would adduce evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that these accused persons are indeed guilty for what they have been accused of. That is to say, he's ready to prosecute and to prove his case in court. But of course, there was also the other issue where, you remember before they even got to the courtroom, the OSP had given them bail, so they were on bail.
Sure.
And that was brought to the attention of the court. The OSP was not opposed to the court giving them bail, except to say that the first, second, and the third accused persons were flight risks. But that again, counsel for the first accused person, that's counsel for Mustafa Abdul Hamid, did not take that lightly, because in his view, that was not accurate, because he says that even when the investigation was ongoing and Dr. Mustafa was on bail, anytime he needed to travel, he sought permission from the OSP,
right,
and that there was no indication whatsoever that he made any attempt to flee the jurisdiction.
I see.
So he did not see why that information that the OSP offered to the court, that the accused persons, including the first person, was flight risk. So that was the information that was put before the court, for which the court was to consider the bail conditions or the bail terms for them. And eventually, those bail terms were given them. Now we are learning first accused person is the only person who has been able to meet the bail conditions as of the close of today. The other 6 people are still in custody. And here you find the 6 other persons. We've looked at the first 3. The 4th person is Albert Ankra. All of them were in court. Isaac Mensah, Bright Bediako Mensah too, Kweku Abuaji Akwa, and the rest are the artificial persons or the companies. And Alfred, it's so important to indicate that due to the high interest in this particular case, the courtroom was full, even to a point that you find people who were interested in the matter not having space in that particular court. And those who are familiar with the court spaces in the youth, it's the case that the criminal courts usually have relatively bigger spaces. But even with that, it could not contain the number of people who were interested in that particular matter. Most of the people who had come there were people who had come to solidarize with the accused persons, especially the first accused person, who's the former NPA boss. But by and large, their plea was taken. All of them pleaded not guilty to all the charges, and their lawyers say they are ready to have their day in courts. You remember for Mustafa Hamid, his lawyers had already indicated before they came to court that their client is innocent of all the allegations that have been leveled against him.
Absolutely.
They raised concerns about how the investigation started with the figure involved, 1.3 million. They are now told that what he is standing trial for is in respect of some 280 million Ghana cedis. And to him specifically, it has to do with some 24 million Ghana cedis. So for them, they are ready to go through the trial and then prove the innocence of their clients.
I see. You referred to the bail conditions. What were the bail conditions specifically to Mustafa Hamid and the others? So for that him, Mustafa Hamid has met?
Yes, for him and these 2, that is Jacob Kwamna Amwa and Newman Wendy, Wendy Newman, 2 million Ghana cedis, 2 sureties, one of whom is to be justified.
Right.
And in that case, they are looking at landed property. They were also asked to deposit their passports and also visit the investigator once every month. So those were the conditions in respect to the 3 of them. Now for the rest of them, they also have the same bail sum as in the 2 million Ghana cedis, but with 3 sureties, one of whom is to be justified.
I see. So how is this case going to play out in the coming days?
Well,
from what we do now.
So now the case has been adjourned to 26th of August. Parties have been asked to file the relevant documents. In this case, prosecution is required to file all disclosures and then serve same on the defense. They are also supposed to indicate witnesses that they will call if they intend to do so. And also, if they have any alibis to file, they'll have to do so. But then again, the hearing on the 26th is going to be a virtual hearing. And that will be the day that they'll come to now determine the next line of action for the progression of the case. Alfred.
Great detail there. Now, you know what? This is one that it's not just the people who are in the courts who are keenly interested in this, right? And it's just important that you put the matters in context about the public interest nature of this particular issue. And you had the courtroom full to capacity.
It was.
In fact, beyond capacity.
Yes. Even practitioners did not have space in the courtroom. I mean, at certain points in time, security had to come in to make provision for other persons who needed to be in the courtroom. And it was obvious that this was not a regular day in court where you'd find maybe few people in certain courts. The that courtroom specifically was filled to capacity.
You see. And we'll see how the coming days will look like.
Precisely so.
Rightly, and we'll follow this every step of the way. Dennis Peberewadam will continue to be in court and to sit through these court proceedings on specific cases like this, and then also many others that the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General are all pursuing for and on behalf of the Republic of Ghana. But this is Ghana Tonight. Stay with us. We're going into some matters tonight as coming up next, another case of armed forces ammunitions, not
Orofo we ne nsema ai deja wo Ghana ha se obi aka ho asema me so medi ni nyina brew e wo Ghana tubrofo se nsema ekoso ni nyina no wo anu ye bi afa hook me comment section wona me kenkan ni nyina ma orofo aha na me ne nsema nyina besi e wo Ghana tubo mo mfin se wo be like no ma subscribe no ma share no ma hit notification bell no so ma se na be ya abini abibia drop your content say ya wo nya ne tempa no ahwe no che orofo aha na me ne nsema nyina besi e wo Ghana tubo so makra mu nyina Meda mu nyina ase